My first job in San Francisco when Joan and I moved there was working for Decca Records for 75 bucks a week in 1960. Very beginning of the whole 60s thing. So I was there for 1 year, Dick from Decca. I realized when I was there, this company, first of all, musically, I wasn't into Decca Records at all at the time, because I had worked in a record shop, and my forte was jazz and Sinatra and whatever. Decca was an old line established recording place that had a lot of good stuff in the old days. Alfred Apaka, the Hawaiian guy. They had Ella Fitzgerald. They had Ella Fitzgerald doing a Tisket a Tasket. That was Decca Records. You know, there was some really interesting people. After a year with Decca Records, I decided that I was going to leave because nobody liked Decca Records at all. The retailer. The reason they didn't like them is because every quarter, every 3 months or 4 months, record companies were allowed, and this was the same with the book publishing business. The record companies were allowed to send back records that didn't sell. So when I'd walk into a record store, little did I know that Decca Records was the most hated record company in the world, according to the American retail guys that own record shops. And I remember going home at nighttime and saying, Joan's there making the tuna casserole. Hi honey, how was work today? And I'd say, I hate this job. Why? These people, they throw me out. They don't even want to talk to me. Why don't they want to talk to you? I don't know. So I finally figured out why they didn't want to talk to me is because Decca would not observe the thing that all the other record companies would, to take back a quarter of their records each, or a percentage of their records each 3 months, quarter months.
Because
each quarter.
Is it because they take back the stuff that didn't sell?
Right, your mistakes. You know, you order something and you say, you know what, I thought this was going to sell, it didn't sell. That's all right, send it back. So that's how you had grace with the record companies, and then they give you credit for that amount. Decca Records would not do this. They were cheap. Well, I didn't know that. So I'd walk in, hi, Rich, get out. You know, that was it. Everywhere I went, I had this great big leather case with the big Decca catalog that they never got rid of anything. Decca, oh my God. It was carrying this thing around like this. So anyway, I remember walking into Columbia Music, Sid and Chuck Heller. They owned a great record shop on Market Street called Columbia Records. And I'd walk in there, and Chuck Heller was the guy up front, and his brother Sid, they were always together, and they're always looking at notes and things that people, special orders on little slips of paper or whatever. So I walked in one day and I said, hi, Dick from Decca. Or no, by now I had known to say, Rich Totoian. And Chuck, who used to let his cigarette burn up like this and kept this left eye closed at all times. And he's like this, and he's writing, and I said, hi, Rich Totoian, Decca Records. And he said, hey Sid, another fucking Armenian from Fresno. Well, I obviously was stopped in my tracks. I said, what? He said, another fucking Armenian from Fresno. And they both laughed. And then he said, okay, kid, get your bag, and I'm trying to get all this stuff out. And he's got these little slips. He's not going to order any big catalog stuff. He's going to order what people wanted. That came in and said, do you have this? Oh yeah, it's on Decca. So these little, he's going, give me Decca DL 9708, give me this, give me that. And I couldn't write that fast. So the first few times I saw him, when I go back, he'd say, hey, you really fucked up my order. So this happened a few times, and finally one time, and I kept saying to Joan, I hate my job, I'm sorry we came here, why didn't I take a job at Harry Coffey's, the clothing store in Fresno, where they all knew me and I bought my clothes, they loved my family. What the hell am I doing here in this big bad city? So anyway, and finally one day I closed that goddamn tin box with the, and I said, you know what? I can't write that fast. You don't give me any respect. I'm sick and tired of you. I'm not coming back here anymore, so kiss my ass. And he looked at me and he said, what's your name again, kid? I said, my name is Richard Totoian, remember, from Fresno? He said, all right, open your book up. I'll slow down. And from that day on, we became buddies. So much to the point where he had a summer home in Santa Cruz in the mountains, not too far away from San Francisco. And he invited Joan and myself to come stay with he and his wife for a weekend. So now we're out on the, after dinner, and he's got some nice California red we've been drinking, and the women are cleaning up in the kitchen. They're going to join us. We've got our wine, and I remember the ocean. It's just beautiful. And I said, Chuck, I've known you now for several months, and you always say when I ask you, how did you know I was an Armenian, how did you know I was from Fresno, and you always say, we have our ways. Come on, man. I mean, come on, be real with me. We're buddies now. I'm in your house. He said, all right, all right, all right. He said, how do you spell your last name? I said, Totoian. I said, right. And he said, and what does IAN mean? I said, I don't know. He said, it means son of. I said, oh, son of Toto, so I'm the son of the dog in the Wizard of Oz? He goes, I don't know what the fuck it means. He said, maybe in your family, this was amazing. Maybe someone in your family toted something. Maybe they had a cart. Maybe they had a... My grandfather, who I never met, my dad's father that got killed when my dad was 12 or 13, he had a push cart. And they called, everybody in Fresno knew him, they called him Toto Sacco. He used to sell vegetables off his cart. That was his business. So when he told me that, I was like, oh my God. He said, IAN means son of.
But then he said, and where do all the Armenians come from?
Fresno. And I said, Fresno? And he went, bingo.
And then you became good friends.
Oh, yeah.
A brown and yellow basket, I send a letter to my mommy. On the way I dropped it,